Hello guys, welcome to a brief review and let's say a recap of Hyper Studio Key series. If you haven't watched the Key series yet, I'm warning you. I have made a lot of spoilers here, and I hope you have watched it. And if you have not watched it, also, if you're just curious what is it about and what kind of story it is, stick around. Alright, let's get started. Introducing Matthias. Here's the Matthias. Matthias is kind of the boss of the studios. He's one of the main cast of the series, who starts off the series when he finds a key in the studio. Alright, and let's go to our next one. Samantha Fekete. We call her Sam. See Sam? Alright, and next one is one of the fan favorites, Woods. His Woods. And also starring is Nelson Cyphers, John Doe, and T. And I'm not going to mention Cyphers 590 and various other little names. And alright, the starting of the story, when Matthias was looking to fix the board up in the ceiling, and he finds a key on the ceiling, a hidden key, and then they find a abandoned case in Hyper Studios. It was up in the wrecked base, I think, of where the wrecked used to be filmed back in the day, and they find a mini safe inside of this safe, and then they find a safe in the wall, and then the key leads them to an abandoned car. The car now, later in the timeline, Matthias finds a safe in the air vent. That is one of the most important things in this series. And now, nothing happens here, and then later what happens is they search the car and find things in the car. Later in the timeline, the car was towed, the government took the abandoned car, and then what happens next is someone breaks into the studios, tries to break in, and then something explosive leaking out of the safe. The safe they had from on the top, from on the ceiling, now leaks fluid that's spontaneously combusts. They keep the safe in the Sam's office, and then the safe suddenly burns a hole through the ceiling and to the roof, and then the safe burns a hole through the thing, and they are more cautious the next time around. Now nothing interesting happens, and someone breaks into the studio again, and now the guys open the hidden safe, and again what happens next is Matthias buys the car from where it was told, from the government, I guess. I don't know, it acquires the car because he was on claim and such. And then they start searching the car, and the stalker broke into the abandoned car. Here's where the stalker starts threatening in the storyline, alright, and then they again search for things in the car, and then they find evidences and a lot of things. This is also a diary, nothing important there. Okay, and then next what happens is someone sends them a safe, and the safe has a mysterious thing. That's an emulator. That's a floppy disk emulator, which comes into play later in the series. And then what happens? The stalker again breaks into the studios. Stalker disappears in half studios for a house that they had no clue, because the stalker was planting this briefcase, which they later discover in the staircase, and they find out that they have a stalker. Alright, they find out that he's been looking, and they stayed overnight, and 24 hours takeout, as you can see in this video. The stalker literally takes the car. Then okay, here's the story. Took the abandoned car, and as it turns out, Matthias had planted a GPS tracker in the car, and he tracked the car, and they tracked the car, and they brought it back. And now back to the case in the staircases. Case in the staircase. That's a confusing one. Alright, the staircase. They find that the staircase case, LAPD case, they open it, and they find it that it's some kind of a jammer. Not a jammer, but a bypass route for the cell signals. It's all fiction. Don't look at it that much. So alright, that is a call interceptor, as described by the guys. Alright, that's a call interceptor. Every time they try to call the police in the storyline, the call would be rerouted to the ciphers. Alright, now and later, now one undercover officer, which is the character here, he is John Doe, or D and John Doe. We don't know D and John Doe if they are the same characters. Alright, and now the police case started counting down. They try to disassemble things, and in this case, the call interceptor did try to disconnect everything, and suddenly it starts counting down. They take out the briefcase, and the briefcase burns down, and that's that. Right now they find a secret hidden trapdoor inside the studios. This will when they find a secret layer, kind of a layer inside the staircase, which contains a Apple II. And then they find a lot of evidence about the stalker, and then what happens is Matthias plugs in the floppy emulator, and in the storyline the emulator is there's not much actual reference to a connection, but somehow the computer seems to be connected to a central network of some kind, and later on, and in the another video, someone predicted her birth. Now here's when they find documents about themselves, documents about Woods and Samantha's past. And here comes to today's video, which is messy entirely, and I cannot unsee it. This is what happens today, and it's about the logo we have, the Syntech logo. Alright. And I think I will make more on this saga later on. We'll continue following up, and I hope you like it. And don't forget to like if you liked it. mm, I think if you'd like, please subscribe. I would like to make more of this narration. If you even understood my English, it's not my first language, so I cannot speak that good, I think. Alright, see you in the next one.
All the images and storylines and characters belong to High Five Studios, and I'm just making a review. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want to see more.